Hello and welcome to Scavengers. Today I'm just giving you a little update. Been a strange last few days. I've mentioned before that I've been having some problems with publishers. Let me put it into perspective. I had to leave Headline Publishing some years ago because Headline, the editor basically, I think, didn't like my books. So they halved my advances. They tried to take more and more rights. So, for example, they were trying to take all foreign rights. They were trying to take film rights. They were trying to take everything. And I couldn't live with that. So basically I had to leave Headline. And I moved to Simon & Schuster, who originally were very good. Because when we brought out The Oath, then King's Gold, they were doing quite a bit of marketing. They were having a little bit of a splash. Unfortunately, that changed. I don't know if it was because of political problems going on within the organisation or what, but let's put it like this. I think I had 6 editors in the space of 5 years. There was a huge turnover of staff. They just kept moving. And then I noticed, because I was asked to write the 100-Year War books, the Vintner trilogy, by one editor before she left. And when the first book came out, I suddenly realised that there was no marketing whatsoever. In fact, there was nothing on Facebook. There was one tweet was sent out, which, people are not going to buy books if they're not aware that they're out there. So I complained and kicked up quite a lot of stink with them. And they admitted that yes, they had gone wrong. I had a meeting with my editor, her assistant, with the head of marketing and the head of publicity, PR, and they all agreed a series of actions that would make things a lot better for the next book. The next book came out, which was Blood on the Sand, and they refused to bring it out in hardback because the sales for the first in the series had nosedived because they hadn't told anybody that book was there to buy. So they refused to put the investment in to produce a hardback for the second one. It just came out in trade paperback. And the sales on that didn't do too well. And when I looked through their accounts, so I'm a sad person, I spent ages going through their Facebook accounts on Simon & Schuster, and then I looked through their Twitter accounts, and I found precisely one tweet advertising that book. One tweet. I complained again, but the sad fact is that book didn't sell well, the third book didn't sell well. They'd persuaded me to write the first in a Pilgrims and Crusaders series, which came out as Pilgrims War. Absolutely no marketing for that at all. I think one tweet was sent out, but again, not mentioned on the Facebook page, nothing. So this year was supposed to have been, well, put it like this, the original contract said that Blood of the Innocent, Pilgrim's War should have come out the year before last in the summer. In the end, they brought it out, I think, last year in January, February, so after the Christmas rush, when it's not going to make too much of a hit. The paperback was supposed to come out some months ago. I checked up with them, they still haven't got a projected date. So 3 weeks ago, I said to my agent, look, this is just ridiculous. They're not selling my books. They're not doing anything to try to sell the books. Ask them, can we have the rights back? Because if they're not going to do anything, I'd do better and make a hell of a lot more money if I was just pushing the books myself. And he said, yeah, well, I'll ask. And to our utter amazement, last week, we had a series of letters from Simon & Schuster confirming that they have given up all rights for all of my books. Now, it's only a little while ago they bought the rights to the first 13 books in the Templar series, for example, because they were so keen on the series. So I've now got the rights back to all of them. They took on The Oath, King's Gold, City of Fiends. They've given back the rights to them. They took on Templar's Acre, they took on the Vintner trilogy, they took on Pilgrim's War. All of those rights have now come back to me, which is fantastic. But leave me with this strange sense of what on earth were they playing at? They've spent thousands of pounds buying the rights for the first books and all of the books I've written recently, and they've done nothing, absolutely nothing to try to sell them. And it is truly pathetic, but it's also a complete waste of my time, my lost income, and their own time. I have not the faintest idea what they're playing at. So that means that the next few weeks are going to be taken up with a bit of a mad rush trying to figure out what on earth to do with these books. I don't want to have my Templar series not available for sale. I don't want to have the Vintner trilogy and Pilgrim's War unavailable. I've got... well, I'll show you. This is the current... can you see that, how thick that is? That's my hand. This is the current book of One Last Dance Before I Die. I'll read it out rather than seeing if I can focus on the camera. Very difficult to see whether the camera is focusing sometimes. So this is the new book, which is going to be the first in the Shanghailanders series, set in Shanghai in the early 1920s. That's nearly finished. I've got another week and a half or so to go on that. And then I've got to figure out what to do with the other books. Do I find a new publisher for them? Could do that. Do I put them straight as ebooks onto the internet? Well, that depends on one thing, which is I still haven't heard from Simon & Schuster as to whether or not they're going to let me have the electronic copies. If they send me the electronic copies so that I can publish electronically and in real format, then that's fine. I can go ahead with that fairly quickly. If they don't give that, it means I've got to have all of my books rescanned, which is going to take a lot of time and a lot of money. So I don't know what's going to happen there. So all that is simply a way of saying things are very strange right now. I'll be updating you as scavengers quite regularly. I'm not putting this out to the majority of the people on Patreon. I'm certainly not making it public because A, I don't want to mess up any communications with Simon & Schuster until I've got all of the electronic formats back. But B, it doesn't make you look too good as an author when half of your books, literally half of your life's work, is suddenly rejected by your publisher. Don't like that. So I'm going to be trying to work out the best way of getting these books and so on back into print as quickly as possible for as little expense as possible. But I'll keep you updated here as a scavenger, and hopefully that's interesting. Hopefully it's not too depressing. But with luck, things will all go well. And apart from anything else, if I put the books out as ebooks myself on Amazon, I would earn, for a book that's, say, $3 or £3, I think Amazon then pay 70% of net receipts to the publisher. So I would get 70% of £3 would be over £2. Whereas usually if I sold it as an ebook or a paperback, I'll get about 10 pence. So I'm making a massive amount of additional money per sale. It may well be that the number of sales I make is vastly reduced, but to be frank, if I'm getting that much more money, then I'm probably going to be quids in. So it's not too bad. But yes, it's going to be an interesting next few months. So watch this space. Thanks a lot for watching, fellas. Again, really appreciate your patronage. It is going to be pretty essential for the next few weeks, I think, because I'm not going to be making any money out of these books as far as I can see. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll speak to you soon. Take care.